winners for every game, including Chargers-Ravens, Seahawks-Steelers, and Packers-Bears. I know one fan base who hopes this is Aaron Rodgers' final season in Green Bay.
Kyler, he throws a fade left side in the end zone, and it is caught for a touchdown by D-Hop.
We've also got point totals, individual player projections, and some help for your survivor picks. Because let's face it, you've already used all the first-place teams. Game Day View, presented by Mercedes EQ, starts right now. And welcome to NFL Game Day View. Do I start too hot? Is that too aggressive?
No, that's just hot enough.
Presented by Mercedes EQ. So happy to be here. Week 6 is coming up heavy. I'm so excited. We got Hawk, we got Cynthia Freeland. We got his triumphant return from the UK, Greg Rosenthal. My only question is, where the heck is Rupert, and why is he here instead of you?
The doorman. I mean, he was much better dressed than me. I'm sorry to miss your birthday, though. That was like a bad co-host move.
It was.
I told the Browns to get you 40 points. Like, I thought that would be enough. Like, give you a win at home, but it wasn't enough.
Get a win as well.
Sorry about that.
That's fine. Hawk and I cried about it this morning. It's fine. We're moving on together. Let's break down some of these very exciting games this weekend, starting in Baltimore. Ravens, 2.5-point favorite over the Bolts. The Chargers made us miserable last weekend. What do you like there?
Well, now I'm getting revenge on the Chargers because I'm picking the Ravens. I have them winning 27-21 in this one, and I'm focused in on Lamar Jackson. Why? Because Greg said everyone's focused in on Lamar Jackson. That's not a special take, Hawk.
No one's talking about it. I didn't see
he is the leader in the MVP race, Greg. That's my hot take, and I don't think it's close. 5th in passing, 8th in rushing. He's doing things we've never seen a quarterback do, and he's doing it in both facets of offensive football. He is truly special. Yes, he's going against Justin Herbert, who has also been balling, but I kind of give the edge to Lamar, and I think he's going to have a huge game against this Chargers defense that let up over 500 points a week ago against the Browns.
500 points.
Yes. 500 points, yards. You get it.
Cynthia,
No, I liked 500 points better. I thought
it was your line. It was the model. The model said 500 points.
I have a 2-point win for the Ravens, 27-25. Looking back on last week's game and where this Chargers defense was really susceptible, well, Nick Chubb averaged 9.3 yards outside the tackles. Now, this isn't about Nick Chubb. This is about what the defense is giving up.
No Nick Chubb.
He's gone. No Nick Chubb. But what you're watching here is an area that the Ravens could easily exploit. Why? Because Lamar Jackson is awesome at outside the tackles rushes, as are Latavius Murray, and other scheme-related things that this defense and offense kind of mismatch on, right? So in favor of the Baltimore Ravens in that one. This is no shade to the Chargers, but it's really funny. My model keeps picking against the Chargers. The Chargers fans have noticed.
I've been getting a lot of messages about us not choosing the Chargers on this show.
Well, you got them under 2.5 points, so you tried to thread the needle. I'm going to go all the way there and just pick a nice big upset. Chargers win.
Thread the needle.
Let's go. 2021's crazy because the Chargers are the more balanced team. They're the ones with the running game. Like, everything you said about Lamar is true.
Okay,
he might be the MVP.
Yeah, all right.
But at some point, I don't trust the Ravens team that can't run the ball when they need to. It's crazy to watch. Like, I would trust Lamar and Justin Herbert to do anything. I would trust them with my children.
Yes.
But at some point, like when you need yards at the end of the game, like I want a running game, and Austin Eckler is the man for the Chargers. I think at the end of this game, both these teams are good at closing. They're both good in the fourth quarter, but I think the Chargers are a little better.
Do you think that the Ravens are going to pull him into the end zone like the Browns defense did?
Ooh.
That was cool. That was where you want Derrick Henry, because like he would not get pulled into the end zone.
It was actually smart.
I am with Greg. I'm going upset too, and also I want to just say something. There's been a lot of people in my DM saying that Justin Herbert is my daddy. No, he is not after last weekend's game, okay? Justin Herbert's not my daddy. Okay, he did humiliate me last weekend, but I am on the Chargers. Go Bolts. I don't think this Ravens defense is going to be able to stop this Chargers offense. Also, listen to this. Baltimore Ravens defensive coordinator Wink Martindale said this about Justin Herbert. He's one of those guys who could throw a strawberry through a battleship. Anybody want to break that down?
I love that. That's
He's
like
got
one of
an
those.
arm.
That's one of those old like scout sayings. Like they would say, good receivers could catch a BB in the dark. They said that. This guy can catch a BB in the dark.
It's like
he can throw a small piece of
battleship
fruit
is big.
through a ship.
Okay, so you have to
Why
have
are you
a
throwing
strong arm, but
strawberries?
couldn't anyone?
Listen,
It's
I
a
don't
big
know, but I was
spot,
obsessed with this all week, so I love it.
That's-
Let's move on to the next game, on to Believe Land, where the Browns favored by 3 host the Cardinals, who is giving Arizona its first L in this group. Cynthia?
Well, I'm not. I have the Cardinals winning this game. It's an
Okay.
upset, 26.
Snooze-a-palooza.
Now, I do understand that there are some COVID concerns based on what we've heard from Cliff Kingsbury about a lot of the Cardinals. So keep your eye on this one, because if like a lot of the really important players aren't playing, then that would shift what the model says. But I have 26-25 and upset here. Why? Because you've seen this Arizona offense really adapt to a lot of different types of defensive schemes. Like, you're seeing Rondale Moore here. You're seeing targeting areas of the seams. That was an area that is exploitable for this Browns defense. You're seeing outside the numbers passes. This is like a diversity of different options. It's going to be hard for any team to defend. And I think that we've seen a couple of injuries, meaning Nick Chubb, that make their offense a little bit less reliable too. So that kind of reinforces. I don't do it. It's not my heart.
The model has been.
I wish I had a model that I could just
Right.
blame all
Just
my
like,
picks
it's the
on.
model. You know what?
I hate
the model.
The model's
I
been-
hate the model.
The model's picked the
It's
Cardinals
unbiased.
5 straight weeks, and you're ahead of us because you keep picking the Cardinals.
It's unbiased.
Great job,
There's no bias.
model.
But I'm going Browns. I can't break
Yes.
Rachel and Hawk's heart for a
Yes,
second
that's
straight
family.
week. And you know what? This Browns defense,
that's family.
the health of the offense in Cleveland is a problem. Nick Chubb and both tackles are iffy. Nick Chubb is out. But the defense is coming back. Tack McKinley, Jadeveon Clowney, Myles Garrett's playing in this game. Malik McDowell's special. Denzel Ward, when he is on the field, he changes that back end, and I think they're like a totally different defense. I've seen this defense put up the 2 best performances by any defense all year. I think that's the real defense. It's not the one you guys saw in SoFi. I think they'll shut down
Exactly.
Arizona. This is a good week to
hard.
face the Cardinals. They don't have their center, Rodney Hudson. They don't have Chandler Jones. I think the Browns win. And they cover, too. They win by 4.
I love that. Yes, I'm going with the Browns as well. I'm going with 30-24, Rachel. The reason why I'm zeroing in here, and Cynthia said if a lot of the more important players don't play for the Cardinals, you know, she might swing her vote. The model might then be back on our side. But the most important players in this game is the Browns' offensive line, because they have done an incredible job in the running game, not only for the system's sake. I mean, the running backs are great, but it really is a system. And man-to-man, they are the #1 rushing offense in the league. No Nick Chubb this week, we understand that, but the beauty of that is Kareem Hunt is still a top 5
There you go.
running back in the National Football League. I truly believe that.
tough, yeah.
I think he goes for over 100. The Arizona defense, they played really well against Derrick Henry, but
Well,
since then, they're 28th in rushing defense.
28. That was my point as well. 28th in rushing defense. Kareem Hunt, please step up. I was devastated to hear about Nick Chubb this morning. A little tear fell down my face, but I've just got to believe in the bounce back. And also, if I chose the Cardinals and the Browns won, I would not sleep and I would not forgive myself.
Like a belated birthday.
So I'm
present.
going Browns here, belated
Yes.
birthday party. I actually had a blast on Sunday. You know, it was a bummer that they lost, but that was a very fun game.
And Kyler Murray is not her daddy either.
And Kyler Murray is not my dad. Is it weird that I
Yeah.
said that? You guys had a weird reaction.
Well, it was a weird
It was a
PSA.
little unexpected. Kyler Murray, Justin Herbert, none of y'all are my daddies. People are saying that they own me. Cynthia, let's do the math on Kyler Murray rushing. What do you got?
Okay, look, the model says that Kyler Murray is going to rush for more than 32.5 yards. First of all, he's had 17 designed quarterback runs this season, 5th most in the NFL. That's PFF that gave me the little hat tip there. When I think about, and really look into what's going on in the model, it's Kyler Murray and the diversity of play options. We've seen him use the bootleg. We've seen him not use the bootleg. We've seen him scramble. We've seen him stay stationary. He's actually executing a big volume of the playbook. So I like this opportunity here for him to use his legs, especially with the middle of his offensive line not necessarily playing.
Oh,
So
where is that?
Rodney Hudson's
Not
going
gonna
to be a
use
problem. Yeah. So you got to just run away from Myles Garrett. That's the strategy
Oh,
here.
man.
Yeah, more than 32.5 rushing yards.
Okay.
Run
Let's
away.
move on to the game of the week for TV executives and all of us. I think this is going to be a very fun one. Cowboys at Pats. Dallas favored by 3. Greg, what do you like in this one?
I like the Cowboys, and I don't understand why it's a 3-point spread here. Like,
Is
I
this
feel like it should be
reverse
bigger.
like I'm a Patriots fan?
I am a
blah, blah,
Patriots
blah.
fan, but this is not the same
Got it.
Patriots defense. I think people are still holding on to their priors about the Cowboys are disappointing and the Patriots figure it out in Foxborough. Like, what season are you watching? Look, Lawrence Guy, Dante Hightower, like these men have given me a lot of joy. Give me a Super Bowl win, a 6th one. But
Yeah.
it's not the same group. Like, they don't stop the run very well. And this Cowboys offensive line is just leaning on people week after week. It's the best offense in the league. It's an offensive league. I don't think it's that complicated. I got the Cowboys by a touchdown.
Yeah, I mean, you know me. I like big wins. I got the Cowboys winning here, 30-16. I'm gonna figure out one of these days which camera is my ISO.
All of us
It's
are
that
very
one.
Okay,
That one.
we're good. This is Sports
Yeah.
Media
Oh, there you go.
101.
Nailed
I'm
it.
picking the Cowboys 30-16, and Greg talked about this New England defense not being good against the run. I think they're middle of the pack. They're around 15. And, oh, yeah, the Dallas Cowboys are number 2. And it's not just because Zeke is great. Obviously, Tony Pollard is there, too. And they both went for over 100 last week. And it's this system. And not only that, what their run game does is it opens up their pass game. And the most consistent passing offenses in the league also have great run games. And that's what the Dallas Cowboys have. So I have them winning big in New England. Who, to your point about, like, people think it's the New England of old. I think we got tricked a little bit because of how well they did against the Buccaneers, but it was a monsoon.
That was one game. I've watched all the other games, and they've played some pretty bad teams, and they didn't look that good on defense against those teams, the Texans and the Dolphins and the Saints.
Cynthia, what do you like in this one?
I actually have a closer game. I have 26-23. Cowboys win.
Okay, so we're idiots.
We are. It's interesting. No, I'm not. That's anyways.
Thread the needle. We need to throw out. It makes no sense.
What?
I don't know. I just like doing
I've got
it.
something for you a little
I like
later.
I like doing
That's
it.
a
Okay.
tease, ladies and gentlemen. That's a tease in the biz.
A tease, yep. So here, I like Zeke. I think the run game's interesting. But Ezekiel Elliott in the red area is something that I really like. It's the combination of Dak and Zeke in the red area with the potential for those pass catchers. It has been really cool to see the different looks, the opportunities. I mean, look, we'll give some Kellen Moore whatever, just desserts here.
Yeah.
What is the right term there? I don't know,
Yeah.
but. Well, it's outside rush, like screen passes. We didn't even see that, but like in the past season or two. So Zeke has been really efficient both inside and outside the tackles and the red areas where you score points. So that's how that works.
Love that.
Can I have my single, please? My single. Ignore everything that these guys just said. I am taking the upset here. I am taking the Pats. Okay, I know,
I like
not the same team, defensive old, whatever. Sorry, I am not a Pats fan. You guys still have the same head coach in Bill Belichick, who held this Cowboys team. Last time Dak was in Gillette, he didn't score a single touchdown. They scored 9 total points, and the Pats came out with a win. I think that this is a perfect situation for Bill Belichick to be Bill Belichick and be like, how great is it going to look if I get a win over the Cowboys? And I think
They need one of those nights, but I got 2 words for you about that last game. Jason Garrett.
Ooh.
Like, it's a different Cowboys team.
Yeah.
Okay, you are right about that, but I'm still going Pats upset. Thank you very much.
no,
Next
netta.
on Game Day View, Cynthia's got individual projections and proper performances. Plus, we are picking Packers, Bears, and Vikings-Panthers. After this, don't go anywhere.
does Rodgers have up his sleeve here? Rodgers waits, throws. He's got Randall Cobb. Touchdown! One step drop, lofts left side, leaping grab end zone. And Davante Adams, touchdown! Hey, takes it himself around the right end of the end zone. Untouched for the touchdown.
The old man can still run.
Big night for Aaron Rodgers. Usually comes back with a vengeance, and that's what he did here tonight.
The old man can still run. All right, let's talk individuals in proper performances. Also, how rude if you're watching that game.
Is he your
like,
daddy?
Excuse me? No, nobody's. Okay, I take it back. We're not talking about anybody's daddies anymore, okay? Let's take a look at FanDuel's projected lines for passing yards in Week 6. Cynthia, what do you like here?
So the Kirk Cousins one stands out to me for a couple of reasons. First, we think Dalvin Cook's going to play. Yeah, so we think Dalvin Cook's going to play, and Dalvin Cook runs the ball, so that's helpful there. And second, when I look to see this Panthers defense, they're very good at defending the kind of things that Kirk Cousins does very well. So like outside the numbers passing, where he's rated really high, and also passes of 10+. He's had a good season so far. But I think the advantage here goes to the Panthers front. They give a ton of different looks. They're always mixing around where everyone is. And Kirk Cousins under pressure drops a significant amount when it comes to passer rating allowed. So under.
Vikings are all over the map. What do you guys think?
I think, like, Mike Zimmer likes to play defensive games. He wants Kirk Cousins to be under. There's like a strange thing going on with him. He wants to play like
really
16
mad all
to
the
13
time.
games. He doesn't really want to throw the ball that much. So
Kid Cuzzy. I had to just throw that in there.
Let's take a look at FanDuel's projected lines for receiving yards in Week 6. Who do we got? Davante Adams, Travis Kelce, Cooper Kupp. Who do you want to talk about?
Well, I'd like to point out that when they're close, that means that like my model's doing kind of a good job because it's doing it the same way. Like,
Model.
no, look, I just mean I'm
Lots of model name drops in this one.
So Amari
listen.
Cooper, though, that's pretty different.
Yeah, Amari Cooper being pretty
Travis
different
Kelce.
there. Yeah, he doesn't get a touchdown, but he does have more passing yards. I also want to point out DeAndre Hopkins. It looks a little close, but he could have an even bigger upside in this matchup. Why? Well, when I look at those outside the numbers catches, that's a good area to target DeAndre Hopkins. On close, tight catches, that's where DeAndre Hopkins shines. So that's why that number could be even higher than 72.
Yeah, Brown's secondary also banged up as well, so makes a lot of sense.
I feel like last week Kyler Murray's been getting all the other guys involved, and then last week you remember like, oh yeah,
you're my favorite.
When I need to win a game, let's throw it to DeAndre Hopkins.
Oh yeah, you're my favorite. You're
It's
the
a
best
great
one.
point that I brought up last week when you missed the show.
Oh, when I was
Yeah, you
replaced.
weren't here. You
I
left
feel bad
us.
enough about it. A helmet
told the
replaced me.
helmet. We told the helmet.
The helmet didn't.
My
Hold on,
kids
there's
like the
helmets over
helmet
there.
better.
Can I make a special request? Can we get a cutout of Rupert to just have behind us at all
Yes,
times?
we need
That would
Rupert.
be nice. He like tunes in one
like,
day like,
no.
what?
I'm
I should
sick
probably
of
get
this guy
paid for
upstaging
this.
me.
Let's take a look at FanDuel's projected lines for rushing yards in Week 6. We got Zeke, Jonathan Taylor, Kareem Hunt. Please play it well. Cynthia, what do you want to talk about?
Look, I want to talk about Kareem Hunt. I think it's really cool. Our producer did such a good job of getting that. Just happened. So good job, guys. All of you is awesome. What I look to see here, what is the opportunity?
to say that?
Arizona allows
Dan,
5.6
producer
yards
Dan?
per carry outside the tackles, third most in the NFL. Kareem Hunt is going to have to carry that load. He's 5.9 yards per carry on such rushes. The outside the tackle stuff matters a ton, especially this year. This is kind of the trend people are doing. They are running outside the tackles for success. Those are the teams that win. So Kareem Hunt, more than 86.5.
I love this one. Kareem Hunt, like, go eat. Like he should prove that he's a top.
I was like,
5
I need a
guy.
snack.
This is it, and that was a veteran move, complimenting the producers. That's how you get your own segment. You know,
Yep.
Producers, you're doing a lovely job.
No,
with
I just
my
think that we might
things
as like
well.
sometimes we put up the ones and they're very close to the. We want to
Yeah,
find the
great
ones that
job.
are
Oh, yeah,
different.
Good job,
I
team.
love it.
Can't win.
All right, likely Aaron Rodgers' final appearance in Chicago as a Packer. Does he
Oh,
go?
who says that?
Well, our producer Tanton is a very big Bears fan, so I think he's just putting wishful thinking out into the ether. Does he go? He says correct. Does he go
Speaking into
scorched earth
existence.
one final time? Green Bay favored by
funny.
6. Hawk, what do you like?
I like the Packers to go 28-16, and if this is the last time Tanton in the back, he's going to give you a lasting impression of what you remember him from. I'm looking at Davante Adams in this one, right? Last week he went for 206 yards, first game over 200, a career high. You know how hard it is to have a career high when you're Davante Adams? Like all of his average per game would have been my career high when I played. And I don't know if you know this, Greg, but I played in the NFL. Also, he's going against a Bears secondary. That's their primary weak spot on the defense. So I expect Davante Adams to feast this year, and also want to put it out there, he is wide receiver number 1 officially. He's the number 1 receiver in the National Football League. I know there's a lot of debate. You can end it here because I said so.
Oh, Oh, okay.
There it is.
Because I said
moment
so.
here on,
You can end it here because I said so.
End of the show. Thank you.
And we get to go home now. Cynthia, what do you like here?
So right now I have 26-20. I did see the injury report. Akeem Hicks is on it. Khalil Mack is on it. So it could be even more of a bigger, that's bad English, more of a larger Packers win come Sunday. But I do want to say that Justin Fields, maybe we're going to give a little love to Justin Fields here.
For sure.
Right, there's rushing ability to design runs. It seems like Matt Nagy and co are trying to do the thing that's actually best for the quarterback here, which is start with the easier passes and then go to the harder passes. So start with the inside the number stuff, then go to the outside the number stuff. And Justin Fields is executing that really well. So when I talk about maybe this game, it's not the win, but you do want to see, like, this is good and promising I want all these young quarterbacks to be good. So the best we can do is to have them be rolled out in a way that makes sense, and that seems like what they're doing.
I think they're playing very conservative. It's smart. Their defense is keeping them in games, and that's why this is a thread the needle game for me. How about this, guys? Like a little thread the needle.
Still does not.
You know,
No,
so
that's worse.
just to explain to the listeners now, that's worse. I think right there. I'm picking the Packers to win, but I'm picking the Bears to keep it close.
Throw a strawberry through here.
In Chicago is playing great. I'm moving on from this. Akeem Hicks. Okay, maybe he's not there. But Robert Quinn's been playing better than I've ever seen him play. Bilal Nichols is playing fantastic. Khalil Mack has been great when he's out there. And it's Sean Desai, who's a Vic Fangio's disciple. They've really kind of taken his lessons, and it looks like a really good Bears defense again. And the Packers don't have many other guys they threw to other than Devontae Adams. That's it. It's all Devontae.
Packers across the board, meme alert. I'm going to set you guys up for this one. In the past, Aaron Rodgers has been the Bears' daddy. Guys, I really teed it up for you.
Yeah, my bad. I thought we were stopping. I thought you were adamant about us not doing it.
20-5 against the Bears. Also, does this concern you if your quarterback comes out and says this? Justin Fields says this about Aaron Rodgers. I'm so excited to watch him play. Not exactly what you want your quarterback to say about the other quarterback on the other side.
I like honesty.
I'm so excited to watch Aaron Rodgers play this weekend.
I'm excited too.
I am too. He's great.
Should Justin Fields be saying that?
I mean, he can watch him because they don't play against each other.
I know, but it's just like a.
I know.
Forget about it. Maybe I'm the only mean one on this show. Vikings taking on Carolina are Kirk Cousins and Sam Darnold, the Spider-Man meme. They're looking at each other, looking the same. Vikings favored by 2.5. Cynthia, what do you like?
I have the upset here. I have the Panthers winning 26-23. Panthers D-line changes everything. They have a bunch of different looks. They're throwing Brian Burns around all his way. It's really great. Hassan Reddick is really fast. His burst, meaning that first little push that he gets, it's the third fastest in the NFL. So that's pretty good. And, you know, you're going to have the quick Kid Cuzzy. He doesn't like it when that comes fast.
You know what pass rush I like even more? The Minnesota Vikings. I have them winning
Minnesota
by a field goal. Everson Griffin and Daniil Hunter are among the best tandems in the league. Griffin is a pretty cool story.
Though?
Like, I think last week was World Mental Health Awareness Month. He was someone who had to take time away from the team years ago. It stopped his career with the struggles that he had. He talked about it openly. He was almost out of the league for a while this offseason. Then they bring him back in at the last second. He's had an unreal career there. He's like back to being his old self. He's not just back and healthy, and I love the way he talks about that, but he's balling right now. And the two of them, I think they get after Sam Darnold and give him a lot of trouble.
Yeah, I'm going with the Vikings here. I had the Vikings with a 4-point win, 26-24, actually 2-point win. I'm looking at Justin Jefferson in the battle between him and the Carolina secondary, who are holding teams to 161 pass yards per game. They're actually doing really, really good. Justin Jefferson is averaging 17.7 yards a catch, and he's coming off a 100-yard game a week ago. So he's going to have to really bring his A game, and along with Kirk Cousins, for them to get over the hump. But I do have a close win, but the Vikings edging them out. I'm on Team Greg for once.
I'm going to go Panthers as well. You know, every single week we get so much information, all these stats. I go to Cynthia's Twitter every single week, and I see what she's talking about, and she still thinks that the Carolina Panthers are the real deal. I think the Vikings have been all over the map. She's the smart one on the panel, you guys. I like to listen to her.
He's offended.
Yeah, I don't like
Greg's
this
offended. Greg's offended.
I mean, Hawks owns like 4 different companies. Give him a little love.
Yeah.
Cynthia will one day as well. Next on Game Day View, we are helping you with your Survivor picks in Week 6, plus winners for Bills, Titans, and Seahawks-Steelers. After this timeout, don't go anywhere.
Gets away from pressure, rolls to the right sideline, fires it downfield, got a man wide open, caught. Dawson Knox makes the catch at the 15, cruises into the end zone. Touchdown, Buffalo! Wow, holy mackerel!
Bills at Titans on Monday night. That is a full weekend for Bills Mafia on Broadway Street in Nashville. Buffalo favored by 5.5. Greg, what do you like here?
I like the Bills. I like them to win by a lot, but 12 points in this game. I don't like what I've seen out of the Titans offense. Ryan Tannehill is the best play-action quarterback maybe of our lifetime. If you look at the numbers over the last couple of years, it's outrageous. You just thought that it would come back to earth. And even this year, if you look at his numbers in play action, he is one of the top 1 or 2 quarterbacks in the league. And yet they are doing it far, far less than they used to. I don't know why that is. Maybe it's because you don't have Julio and A.J. Brown out there healthy all the time. But it's like, let's see a little more of it. Let's see a little bit more of the downfield passing game. They're not taking advantage of what he does his best.
Wow. Huh.
Yeah, I'm gonna go.
Yeah,
okay, I'm gonna go with the Titans. I like the Titans.
Big
I like
upset.
them winning 34-27.
I like
this is an upset pick.
Bold.
You got Derrick Henry, the 3rd-ranked rushing offense against the 3rd-ranked rushing defense. So it's going to be like one of these. So the tiebreaker for me comes to the receivers for the Tennessee Titans. I see them coming out and having a big game for the reasons that Greg talked about. They're going to go to the play action more because they've been relying heavily on Derrick Henry. After that first week, they were like, yo, let's just give him the ball 30 times a game and just see what happens. I think against the Bills, this is going to be the game where they really dig into that play action bag. And not only that, I think the Bills haven't had a big test. I mean, the Chiefs were a test, but prior to that, easiest schedule in the league.
A little bit of a letdown, maybe. I can see that.
Okay. All
Just
right.
saying.
What does the model
Listening?
say?
I got a 7-point Bills win. Is Broadway going to still be around, or will Bills Mafia have invaded
Just
it? That's the big
completely
question.
tear it down.
Yeah, 30-23 is my final score forecast in this one. I want to talk about Stephon Diggs and his separation. He hasn't had the kind of fantasy ROI that we were expecting from the standpoint of like how many catches, but if you look to see how often he's been open, it's been getting better in every single game. They've had some not so great defenses that they've gone against. You're seeing a not so great defense highlight right here. But I think that in this game against this defense, he's going to be wide open. This is the Stephon Diggs breakout game based on the routes that he runs and where the lapse in defense happens to be.
I love that. One of the best route runners in the league.
He's a great route runner.
Okay, I am going Bills. I think that this is a sneaky close game. I know that you mentioned that they haven't really played a lot of great teams, but I think that these numbers have got to make any team feel good. Points per game, first in the NFL. Points per game allowed, first in the NFL. Point differential, first in the NFL. Rushing yards allowed, top 10. Probably shouldn't have mentioned that, but that's why I think it's going to be close. So I'm going Bills in a close thriller. I think that this one's going to be fun. Okay.
I'm flying solo on that one, by the way. Sound effect?
Perfect. Yeah, I got to figure out what my flying solo thing is going to be. Cynthia, let's do the math on Josh Allen, shall we? What do you got?
Yes. Okay, so Josh Allen is going to have more than 288.5 passing yards at the Titans. That kind of supports your closer game situation, so they'll have to keep throwing a little bit more.
Me and your model are in cahoots.
They definitely are. Josh Allen ranks
your model.
perfect. He ranks 2nd in the NFL with 426 yards on deep passes. So deep passing, NGS kind of supports that. He's just behind Kyler Murray, by the way. And Tennessee has allowed 463 yards on deep passes. That's the most in the NFL. Cole double-checked all that for me, so I always appreciate my guy Cole.
Like Mike Vrabel is a
Lots of
defensive
shout-outs
guy,
today.
and he's changed players, he's changed schemes, it's always changing, and his defense is always struggling.
I mean, sometimes it's just easier to win with the good players, so maybe like
Get some of
maybe
those.
reinforce it.
good
Like
players.
this corners, it's like a little easier to win when you maybe invest a little money in the. I'm not being
This model
mean.
knows
That's
a lot.
the truth.
I don't know how to.
Easier to like they paid Derrick Henry, they brought in a bunch on the offense. Maybe easier to maybe pay a little on defense.
There you go. Let's talk a little Seahawks-Steelers. Pittsburgh by 5.5 right now. A little Geno Smith action, perhaps. Hawk, what do you like?
Yeah, I like the Steelers in this one, 27-17. The strength of the Seahawks offense is their passing game when they have Russell Wilson. But that actually didn't drop off when Greg's guy Geno went in there last week. He balled out. But this is his first start in a number of years. I feel like it's going to be a little tougher for him now that they have a week to prepare for him. What happens when backups go in, the defense isn't ready for it. and then you have a whole week to prepare for him. And it's like, oh, okay, here's how we neutralize this guy. And I think the Steelers are going to do great in that secondary is where the plays need to be made for Pittsburgh, specifically to the wily vet Joe Hayden and Minkah Fitzpatrick, who is an X factor, and this defense needs him to make big plays.
See, I like when you give your ex-teammates shout-outs. Like, I see what you're
What are you talking about?
Joe Hayden, no?
Oh, yeah, I did play in the NFL. You're right. Joe Hayden.
Wait, what?
I did. I don't know if anyone knew that. It's
This
important
needs
for
to
me
be like on a
always
sidebar, like just have that always up.
I'm going to wear it on my jacket next week. Don't worry.
I mean, listen, I would say you're more of an entrepreneur than a former player. So
Okay.
that's how I would actually.
That's why we're
characterize
best
it.
friends.
Perfect.
pretty cool.
So.
I have 24-20. Steelers win this one. I think it's going to be a little bit closer. I like Geno Smith. I think it's more of a factor of, like you talked about, the deception there. But I think that the Steelers, they really have the advantage now that they figured out a little bit more of this Najee Harris mystery, which is really that if you have a little bit of a passing threat, then this guy who they anticipated and drafted as like the man is actually the man. It stinks for anyone to get a hit at or behind the line of scrimmage, like 4 yards behind it. And what happened is now that more of their receivers were healthy and Chase Claypool was making it happen, Deontay Johnson was catching balls, well, Najee Harris turns out he needs just a little bit of room to get going.
Help,
Just a little bit of help, and then he becomes awesome.
Yeah, they were mauling people last week. That's one of the reasons I took the Steelers to win this game, 27-20. It hurts me as the biggest Geno Smith fan in the world. But look, the Seahawks were a bad team. They were a bad team with Russell Wilson.
Rupert's a bigger fan.
I believe that he got a raw deal in New York. Jets fans were so unfair to him that he's a good quarterback. He's a good backup, but this isn't a good team. The offensive line is bad. They had a losing record with Russell Wilson as their quarterback. The defense has given up yards. I think they're going to get pushed around by the Steelers offensive line that kind of got going. So Geno's the hero no one asked for, but he's the hero we need. Maybe he can surprise us, but he's really got to.
Do we deserve
I think
a man like Geno Smith?
I will say, when it comes to the Seahawks, I think their play caller is great. He comes from the Rams, so I think they'll have some. We'll have some weird stuff, but I don't know what's going to be.
I'm going
Good
Steelers
stuff.
as well. I do not trust the Seahawks defense. I feel like Russ just puts this team on his back, and there's no Russ. I do have a very fun Geno Smith write this down at the end of the show that I am going to be cheering for this weekend. So wait for that. Meme alert. Yep, we're all on the Steelers. So good luck, Seahawks. How about a new segment called Survive and Advance? You need help picking a team in Survivor? We got you covered, Cynthia.
I like this.
Why don't you go through some of these? Okay, so you got the Colts over the Texans, Rams over the Giants, Bengals over Lions. Talk me through these.
Basically, the point here is we took a look at just who will win. There's no point spread involved here. It's just who's going to win, who's the most likely. So we picked our 5 strongest. And just so you know, there's some weird thing about 58%. So of all my model numbers, 58% is where things become far more certain than things that fall between 50 and 58%. So these are the ones that came up pretty big. And if I'm going to pick one on there, it's going to be the Bengals. That's my favorite one. Yeah, well, obviously, there's a lot of good reasons, but I mean, because you played there is it's actually the #1 reason. The second is I love deep passes. Deep passes really are a big reason why they were so close in that game with the Packers, who are a much better team than the Lions. So I think we have Jamar Chase, maybe 2 more deep touchdowns. He's already had 4, which ties a rookie record for deep touchdown reception in 5 games. So let's go.
He's the man.
My first question is, when did you have time to do 300,000 simulations of these games?
It's like at 200,000 where you're just let's go to sleep. That'll be fun.
Throw another 100,000. Greg, what do you?
I did one simulation.
I'm a lot.
It took.
I'm a lot.
It took 30 seconds. My simulation. I chose the Miami Dolphins as my sneaky good Survivor pick of the week. Yeah, I know they're not a heavy favorite. It's a neutral game. First of all, that's going to be a home game for the Dolphins. The UK crowd loves Miami because they were good in the 80s. They love all the 80s teams. They love the Bears.
Last week.
Yeah, I was
You
there.
didn't even need Xavier Howard.
I'm basically a resident
You didn't
there.
need Devontae Parker.
I'm a little disappointed there's no Xavier Howard. Didn't know that when I made them my sneaky good pick. But I've watched the Jaguars every week, and it's the worst defense in the league. So I think Brian Flores gets it.
That's what's wrong with the Greg simulation. It doesn't get up-to-date information.
No, he's just throwing a dart in a dartboard and hoping for the best. All right, next on Game Day View, let's talk totals. We are predicting the points for the top games of the week, including Chargers, Ravens. Stick around. Do you blindfold yourself as well when you bet that?
Couldn't tell him that.
on, that's the goal. Let's go.
They won't respect us, dog. We don't care about who respects us or not, dog. Because after today, they going to feel us.
Throws the screen, has a blocker. Here comes Eckler. Touchdown, Chargers. Here's the kick. It is up. It is good.
Pressure coming, gets the pass away. Caught ball 50. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Antonio Brown.
Shotgun snap. Short throw caught by Andrews. They get the 2 and they tie the game.
Meme.
Meme alert.
It's time for Protect the Points, presented by FanDuel Sportsbook. Does this mean we are going to be on the same side of many of these? Perhaps. Okay, Chargers at Ravens is the first one up, 51.5 points. I am going more. Hawk, you are the only one that thinks this is maybe a snooze-a-palooza. What do you got?
I don't. That's just the score I picked. I think we just added it up, to be honest.
Analysis.
I think it's it's just how it ended up.
Hey, these defenses are a little
Great
overrated
analysis.
this year.
He
They're below average this year. You think of the Ravens as a good defense, but they've got numbers that are below average.
And no one's talking about Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
Nobody is talking about Lamar Jackson.
Nobody.
across the
Talk
board.
about Lamar
If
Jackson.
he wins this week,
Maybe.
the
People should
winningest
talk
quarterback ever under 25 passes Dan Marino. Have you talked about that?
No,
haven't.
that's true. That's a good
You
one.
know?
Actually, I have.
Just run with that. You're
Cardinals
supposed to just say no, Cynthia.
at Browns, 49 points. I think I am the only one going less, and that's because Greg said earlier in the show, Browns defense is the greatest defense he has ever seen in his life in the world, and that is a fact that he said on this show. I don't think this. I think you're right. The Browns defense that we saw last week is not the one that they are.
They're just more likely to make the big plays to win the game. But these are it's still Kyler Murray. It's still Baker Mayfield,
scary.
your boy. They're
Okay.
going to
A lot of
score
points.
some
No, Nick Chubb. All right. Cowboys at Patriots, 50.5. I am going less. Greg, you are the only one that's going more. Why?
Because it's the Cowboys. And I think actually Mac Jones is getting better every week. I saw something out of their offense. Yeah, I think they'll be able to put up points, but I just don't trust the Patriots to keep Dallas under 30. I don't trust any team to keep Dallas under 30.
Huh? You're going less?
But
Yeah,
then
I'm
they
going
still
less.
scored
I trust
21.
him to take him keep him under 30.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Packers at Bears, 44.5.
Oh, no.
I am going less. Cynthia, you're going more.
Do we not like Justin Fields at all? Do we not think
No, we
Aaron
love
Rodgers will be
Justin
angry?
Fields.
I don't
Do
know.
we not think?
Bears defense is pretty good, right?
When they're playing.
When was the last time anyone but Devontae Adams caught a pass?
Do they
Onion.
need anyone else? I mean, Aaron
Lazard.
Jones is
Catches
pretty
a
good.
lot of passes.
Heard of him?
Running game.
Yeah. What are we talking about
Fields
here?
threw for 111 last
Bears.
week.
He also
Packers.
hyperextended his knee last week. I know that he went back in the game, but I'm 30 now, so I can say, like, oh my God, that would kill me.
They're missing their top
Yeah.
two running
You are
backs,
30.
Chicago. It's a lot of offense.
Yeah, but Khalil Herbert looked pretty good.
Did look good.
Okay. Vikings at Panthers is this next one, 45.5. I am going less. You guys are going more. How can I go more?
Why are you going less?
I'm going less because I feel like these two quarterbacks have kind of not been great the last 2 weeks, and Panthers defense is pretty good. That's how I'm going less.
Oh,
Okay.
picking against Kid Cuzzy.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know why you would pick against Kid Cousins. I think Kid Cousins has played really well this year.
They've been
I think he's
up
been
and
good in
down,
the
but
first
he's
few
been very
games, but
good.
the last
He's
two
been
has been
very
a
good.
little
I would
bit
take
wonky.
Kirk Cousins over Sam Darnold
Okay.
any day. It is not a meme alert.
I was gonna say they're the same
Come
person.
back to me when Sam Darnold becomes the highest paid quarterback in the league and plays like 12 years and makes Pro Bowls. That's all I'm
Oh,
saying.
wow.
Let's talk about this one. This is a very low number, 42.5 between the Seahawks and the Steelers, and meme alert. More across the board.
So it's going to
Cynthia.
be 13-3 is going to be the final score of this game. That's what we just ensured here. I mean, when you have changed that quarterback, this is Geno Smith-Love, in fact. They're going to create things that will make it work for him.
Right.
Yeah.
I think DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett, they're still playing last I checked.
Yep.
So there's still an opportunity to catch some passes here. It's not going to be all is not lost here.
Offense played well last week for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I think they're underestimating Geno Smith. I think he has a good game, and I think the Steelers offense
I
plays
think
well.
so too. I don't think Geno's not the biggest. Sorry, not the biggest in the world.
Two
but-
best.
I'm number
Second.
one.
Bills at Titans, 53. More or less? I am going less. Cynthia, your model is right on the money. You were right
Is that
there.
a thing? Make a
Listen,
choice.
Push.
I would
didn't-
love to make a choice, but
What's
let's
the
be
push
honest.
hand signal?
That's kind of a
Is that it?
stay away.
No, we're not doing thread the needle. It's inappropriate.
Titans defense struggles. I mean,
Right on the nose.
I think they could be going back and forth. It's the first time we've seen Julio and A.J. Brown together for a while.
I think it's a really smart number.
There you go. Okay. When it comes to betting, it pays to have a solid game plan. To learn more about responsible betting, visit responsibleplay.org. Okay, next on Game Day View, one of us in this room, on this show, says the Raiders are going into Mile High and winning this week. If there's ever been a reason to stick around after the commercial break, it is that right there. Don't go anywhere. Who is it? Huh? Who is it? FanDuel Sportsbook wants you to get the most out of every NFL Sunday. That's why this week they are giving everyone a $10 risk-free bet when you make your first NFL same-game parlay bet with 3 legs or more. So lock in your bet today on FanDuel Sportsbook and get up to $10 back if your bet doesn't win. All right, time for quick picks. This is a set of games we did not get to yet. We are starting in London. Dolphins favored by 3 over the Jags. Who has Urban Meyer getting his first one?
Oh,
nobody.
That feels mean. It also feels a little mean that we sent
Did you
teams
just
with a
say
combined
sneaky good?
3-15 record to London. They're gonna start taking this personal. There's a Super Bowl atmosphere there for these teams.
Fun
have this
fact,
one.
1,020 days since Urban Meyer's last win since he was a head coach.
Wow.
And tack on another week, I suppose, after this.
7 days.
I mean, this is a winnable game. Both of these teams are looking at this game and thinking yes, we got a chance.
Yep.
It's gonna be close.
Okay. A clash of jungle cats as the Bengals take on the Lions. Striped felines favored by 3.5. Meme alert. Are we just going to do this whole time?
Yeah, I think they didn't play the sound bite last time, but it's all right.
Cynthia, why do you like the Bengals here?
It's the Lions. I told you to take this.
Oh,
is a
right. You're totally.
First of all, no, the Bengals are actually a good team
there
here.
Should be a disclaimer
Obviously,
at the top of our show.
obviously, we love Hawk, and we're going to pick Hawk's teams. And whenever the model agrees with loving Hawk, then I'm going to.
They were right, though. They were right to take Jamar Chase. I've seen enough.
Are we worried
Yeah,
about
it was the right pick.
I already
and I
apologize to their O-line.
Are we worried about
I was really heavy on the
contusion?
O-line.
Because a throat contusion sounds bad.
It's like a bruise.
I hope so. Raiders at Broncos. Denver favored by 4 after an indescribable week for the Raiders. And who is it going to be?
Ooh, who's
Tell
flying
us.
solo on this one?
Tell us more.
Yeah, I got the Raiders winning. I got the Raiders winning 33-27. Reason being, you see times when coaches that are especially super hard, tough coaches, they get fired, they get let go, they leave in the middle of the season, and you see an uptick in motivation from the players.
Right, you've been in.
I've played for the Browns.
Wouldn't
I've been in these locker rooms.
Wouldn't everyone be excited to get rid of John Gruden? Let's be real. Most of the players.
We will see. He seems like a guy that does not keep a fun atmosphere in the locker room. So I think
Derek Carr
these
talked to
guys.
a lot of
We'll elevate
Change
another
it.
one.
Change it.
I kind of want to change my pick.
Change it.
I'm changing it right now.
Hold on.
The model doesn't account for
This
this.
is
Let's do
bravery.
it.
It is bravery.
Hawk was the one that was brave, and you're just climbing onto this pick.
Yes, I would take it. I need help.
I feel it.
Come, there it is.
I already
Graphics.
had the
Shout out
I
to
already had the
graphics.
Raiders covering, so might as well just do it.
All right,
love
this next one, Chiefs taking on Washington. KC favored by 6.5. Real quick, all across the board, we think that the Chiefs are going to bounce back this week. All right. Meanwhile, we all think the Colts easily take out the Texans, but Greg has it under 10 points. Why?
They compete. Davis Mills played pretty well last week. I'm not saying that he's the future, but I think they're happy to see him play another week. That was maybe the best game any rookie quarterback's had all year. Just saying, give him his love.
Oh. All right, and we've all got the Rams taking down the Giants. This one was a 10.5-point line in favor of LA, but it is down to 8.
Whoa.
So keep an eye on that one.
I mean, there's so many injuries in this game. You're like, stay away from that until Sunday.
Just stay away.
You might want to look at particular
Daniel
players.
Sometimes
Jones
you can
looks
just
like
watch the
he's going to
games.
play. That's
Sure,
fine.
but there's a ton of stuff. Like, there's a ton of injuries.
Okay, after the
Everyone
break,
else is-
if you remember nothing else from this show, make sure it is our next segment. Write this down. Is after this timeout. Don't go anywhere. All right, back on Game Day View. It is time for Drive to Excellence, presented by Mercedes EQ.
They better give me my crown.
That's what happens when you try to replace me with a helmet. The helmet does better. It goes 12-4.
Who is the most obnoxious when they're on the leaderboard? I'm on the very top. Who is it?
Definitely you,
Oh,
Rachel. No,
I was pretty bad. The 1 week I did well, I was pretty bad. I'll give
No
you
crown
that.
this week for us, though.
Cynthia's
Oh.
still on the tippity top.
Oh, that's right. It's total.
Feeling good?
That's right.
Feeling good about this rain?
I don't know. I mean, again, it's like
I'm
kinda not
closing the
personal.
gap, Cynthia.
You are. You are.
You
Very
can tell,
close,
as much as me
53.
and the model get along,
Yeah.
just saying.
I'm saying it's good.
I'm down there with 49. Womp womp.
You'll get
All right,
50 soon.
it is time for Write This Down. It's my favorite segment of the show. Get your pen and your paper. These are things that we are feeling pretty dang
Got it.
good about.
your pen.
I just love this one. Geno Smith, more than 1.5 touchdowns against the Steelers. I think that this is just such a fun storyline. He's such a cool guy to root for.
Yes.
And the Seahawks can use a little hope here against this tough defense. So that's what I'm going with. Hawk, what do you like?
I love that. Geno Smith ball down the stretch last week. I'm going to stick with that theme. I'm going to go Joe Burrow for more than 1.5 touchdowns. And he is also a cool guy. And he's also a really, really, really good quarterback. I actually think he throws 3 touchdown passes in this game.
Whoa.
So
Yeah, that was
Let's get really bold.
That one seems very easy. Okay,
Too
well, I'm
easy.
also picking a cool guy and a good quarterback with Patrick
I
Mahomes.
said Geno Smith was a cool guy. That sounds so dorky.
No, he said that. You,
Okay,
No, she
good.
said it
You both
first.
did.
Oh,
You
okay.
both did.
I'm
He
going to
is a
put
cool
this.
guy.
I got
Cool
this pen in.
story.
Mahomes is going to have more than 17.5 rushing yards.
Whoa.
I know, it's very
Giddy up.
specific.
Yeah.
But I look, there's no Clyde Edwards-Helaire. This is a game
yeah.
where they need to really get back on track. And I know that the Washington defense hasn't been bringing the heat like we thought, but they still are very capable of pressuring. And this offensive line has shown that they're susceptible to some pressure. So run away from it.
They're going to get all the yards. Whatever you need to do in this
Yeehaw.
game, the Chiefs, points, yards.
Chiefs, points,
Sam
yards, go.
Darnold is my guy this week.
Is he cool?
I don't think he's going to do well, though, against the Minnesota Vikings. I think the pass rush is going to get after them. The offensive line for Carolina is getting worse every week. And they're just not the same team without Christian McCaffrey. And I think Darnold will struggle. McCaffrey.
It's his British accent. Came up with a British accent.
Cool guy. Yeah, did you start getting a little twang at the end of the
I
week?
wanted to come back like Madonna and just sort of started having the fake accent.
Yep.
You were too young for that.
No, I
but
know
she
what you're
came back
talking
and
about.
started
So
talking.
Madonna was a singer years ago.
Okay, all right. You know what? That about does it for us. We will see you next week. Enjoy the games this weekend, and thanks for watching.